Hello and welcome to 20-Minute Guitar Player. We are live. Yeah. All right. My name is Rob Reed, and this is my first live stream, so bear with me, and thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year. And we're going to do a short mini-series on your first guitar lessons. So some of you guys might have got a guitar for Christmas, and you're excited to learn. It might be a New Year's resolution, and you've always wanted to learn how to play the guitar, but you never had a chance. This is your opportunity, okay? So your very first guitar lesson for 2022. And we're gonna start with the parts of the guitar. So this is a lesson that I would teach a beginner guitar player. So parts of the guitar, it's good to know the parts of the guitar because you just have to know what you're doing and you have to know what the guitar involves. So we're gonna go over that first. All right, so this is the headstock. So it's called the headstock. And these are the tuning pegs. And this is the nut right here, this white part. It's often made of bone. And it really, if it's a bone nut, it really resonates really nice, really well. Sometimes they're made of plastic and it doesn't ring as nice. So make sure you have a bone nut there. And next part is, these are the frets. So these are called frets. So this would be the first fret and second fret, third fret. And these are called fret markings right here. And then this is the neck. It's called the neck. And this is the fingerboard. And that's often made out of rosewood. And then this is the body and the sound hole right there. And these are the strings. And this is the bridge right there, bridge. And the white part there, that's the saddle. And this is kind of interesting. This is called the shoulder, waist, and hip. Yeah. And this is the soundboard. This is the part. This is the part of the guitar that resonates, and the sound actually comes off of this part of the guitar. So when you strum, this top piece of wood is what's ringing. Some people think the sound kind of magically comes out of the sound hole, which it does, but it's mainly this top piece of wood that rings. And the higher quality the piece of wood you have, the better the guitar is going to sound. So you want this piece of wood to be like a solid piece of wood, like solid spruce. And you can tell if it's solid because the grains will go right through the wood. So just check for that. Make sure it's a solid piece of wood when you're buying a new guitar. And yeah, let's see. What else? I think that's it. Yeah, okay. So that's the parts of the guitar. Hey guys, hey Sawyer, hey Rose, hey Mark, thanks for joining. Oh, this is fun, We're having a good time. So next part is, next thing you have to know, so you have to know the parts of the guitar. Next thing you have to know is the string names. So, and I have a little trick to help remember the names of the strings. And it's a little rhyme, and you say, every apple does get bruised easily. So E would be every, A would be apples, every apple, D for does, G for gets, B for bruised, easily for E. So the first letter of each word is the name of the strings. So every apple does get bruised easily, E, A, D, G, B, E. Can you see that? So E, A, D, G, B, E. Every apple does get bruised easily. So yeah, just memorize that. And then you have to know, after that, you have to know the finger numbers. So this is your first finger, finger 1, finger 2, finger 3, and finger 4. That's really important because you want to know, like, put your first finger on the 2nd fret, 4th finger on the 5th fret, kind of thing. So you really want to know the string numbers. And then next thing we talk about is how to properly hold a guitar. Okay, so it sounds kind of basic, kind of simple, you know, like everyone knows how to hold a guitar, but it's a bit of a trick to it. So you want to make sure your elbow, I talked about this in a video, my video on Tuesday. I actually kind of dropped my guitar too, but it's okay. All right, so you want to put your elbow kind of over the hip of the guitar, just to anchor it so that the neck stays steady. And then your hand is free to move all over the neck. And if you don't hold it with your shoulder like that, it'll just kind of drop down. And you don't want to be holding the guitar up like this with this hand, because then you're not really going to be able to move. Like, it's kind of, like, can't really do it. So yeah, just make sure your shoulder is holding up the guitar there. And you can take your hand away and it doesn't fall down. Yeah. And then also, when you're holding the guitar, make sure your thumb is tucked back behind the neck, just like that, because then you can play, like I said in the video, you can play more on your fingertips, and you can play a lot faster that way. And it's a lot easier to get a cleaner sounding chord if you're playing on your fingertips. So yeah, if your thumb is hanging over the neck, it's going to be like kind of awkward, and your fingers are going to be touching other strings and bumping into other strings, and it's just going to like deaden the string. You're not going to get a good sound. Right? So yeah, just bring that thumb back and play on your fingertips, and you're going to have nice, clean sounding chords. Just keep it back as much as possible. Yeah. So that's holding a guitar. And then we move right on to your first chord. So first chord I like to teach is the A chord, and it's pretty popular. But I play it like this. I teach it this way. So instead of playing A like this, if you can see, instead of playing A like that, you're going to take your first finger back to the third string, and you're going to play it in the second fret. Then your second finger is going to go on the second fret, fourth string. Then your third finger is going to go second fret, second string. So it kind of creates like a triangle, just like that. Okay? So yeah, so grab your guitar and try playing that A chord if you're just learning how to play. And then notice my thumb is tucked back, and I can get a clean sound. You can hear every string. So you want to play through and make sure every string is making the proper sound. So watch this. Yeah. All right. So there you have it. First guitar lesson in 8 minutes. That was fast. I gotta slow down next time. So, okay. So quick recap. Parts of the guitar. So you got your headstock, tuning pegs, nut, frets, fret markings. Fret markings can be on the side as well. And neck, fingerboard, usually made out of rosewood. And then sound hole, soundboard, and then a pick guard. Usually, you can kind of see my pick guard there. It's like a clear one. Pick guard. And then this is the bridge, saddle, and body, shoulder, waist, and hip. Okay, so it's parts of the guitar, and then we talked about string names. So remember our rhyme: every apple does get bruised easily. So the first letter is the name of the string. So E, every, A for apple, D for does, G for gets, B for bruised, E for easily. All right, so you just want to memorize that, and then you have the string names. Oh yeah, numbers, I forgot to tell you. It's actually numbered from the bottom to the top. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So number from the bottom to the top. Okay, so then we talked about your finger numbers. So it's finger number 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's your finger numbers. And then how to properly hold a guitar. Make sure your elbow is over the hip. And then it's anchoring the guitar so it's not falling down. And then your thumb is back behind the neck so you can play with your fingertips. And then we looked at your first chord, the A chord. So you're playing it with your first finger, second fret, third string from the bottom. Your second finger, fourth string from the bottom, second fret. And your third finger, second string from the bottom, second fret. And your thumb is back so you can play some nice clean notes. All right. First guitar lesson of 2022. We did it. Fun times. Let's see what you guys are saying. Yeah. Hey, Mark. Thanks for tuning in. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions, and we can talk guitars. Hey, Mr. McLeod. Yeah, so I like to just kind of stop there with the first chord, Mark, but you can also play, this will be our second lesson. You could play a D chord. And notice how I pivot on my first finger. My first finger stays there. So watch this, this is a really great move. First finger stays there, drop down, and play a D chord. Just like that. So you can see that okay? So you got A, you just lift, your first finger stays there, pivot, drop down to the D chord. Then you can lift, that's your anchor finger. Then you can lift, pivot back to the A chord. You don't get lost. Then you can lift it, slide it back a fret, and then play the E chord. So that's a really easy way to change between A, D, and E. Yeah. Haircuts are very important. New for 2022. Man, it's even weird to say that, 2022. How you doing, Sawyer? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, so any questions about guitar? Have you guys, do any of you guys play guitar or hope to be learning how to play the guitar? Or how many years have you been playing guitar? That's a good question. Any beginners, any beginner guitar players, or Mark, Amy's mad at you because you taught her how to play A wrong? Yeah, well it's probably not really wrong, but a lot of people do learn it that way. And it's totally legit to play it that way. But I find in order to, the trick about guitar is like changing chords, that's the hard part, right? So if you learn it this way, then it just makes it a lot easier to get to the D chord, and then go back to A, then lift, slide back to the E chord. So it's kind of like a pivot finger. Yeah. Yeah, we're always learning, Mark. We're always learning. Sawyer, do you have a guitar at home, Sawyer? Rose, you need to get a guitar. Oh man, too much fun. So yeah, just bear with me, guys. I'm new to this live streaming. It's pretty fun, though. Hey, Amy. Yeah, so make sure you tell your friends about the channel, and make sure you subscribe, and if you're not already. And we're gonna keep going with the lessons. Next week, we'll go live again next week for lesson number 2. And you can go back and review this. Well, I'm gonna post this video. You can go back and review it, and you can practice. So there's 4 parts you want to look at. So just remember, so you're going to learn, I keep looking at this, sorry. So you're going to learn parts of the guitar, go over the parts of the guitar, the string names and numbers, which is every apple does get bruised easily, A, E, A, D, G, B, E, and then finger numbers, and then how to hold the guitar, and then your first chord, your A chord. So that's your homework for next week. I want you to work on those and come back next week, and we'll move on to lesson number 2, okay? Yeah, fun. Yeah. Yeah, sorry, this is my first live stream. Play us a tune. Okay, what do you want to hear? Okay. Here's a good one. All right. Yeah. Good times. All right. Well, I think that's all for today. All for tonight. Thanks for logging in, guys. And thanks for taking time to hang out with me. And I'll be back on again next week, probably Wednesday. And thanks for joining me. Make sure you practice guitar, practice those tips, and we'll see you next week.